guys, and welcome back to another lyrical breakdown with you know who it is. It's your lady friend Bonnie. So I am here. I hope you guys are doing great. I'm doing great. Tell me what you did this weekend. Tell me what's going on. Tell me about your life. That's what I want to hear about. I want to hear about you guys because you're like a little family. That's it. I just want to hear about. I tell you guys all about well, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't tell you guys everything about me, but I could, if you want me to, I guess. But join me on Twitter for all of that stuff, and you'll get to know me a little bit better. And follow me at your lady friend Bonnie. So this week, I'm doing an interesting song. I'm going way back. I know it's an old song. It's 31 32 almost years old, this song, because it came out in 1986, which was the year that I was born. So it's an old song, just like your lady friend Bonnie here. Yeah, that's it. So it's an old song. We can just get into that right now. So this week I'm doing Schooly D Saturday Night. And I couldn't find a specific date that this song or the album that this song was on came out. Everywhere I could find was just 1986. It just came out that year, but you don't really know when. Um, and it's a decent song. And if you don't know who Schooly D is, I didn't really know who he was. This song was a request, by the way. So thanks for that. Thanks for inspiring this. So this Schooly D is sort of, I didn't know who he was before I did this, like I said. He's kind of known to be the very, very first gangster rapper. And this is because people kept saying Ice-T was the first gangster rapper on the scene, and he was like, no, the first is Schooly D over here. Yeah, and I think that that's really cool. And I think I've heard other people, well, I haven't heard, but I've heard mention of his name. And I think other people kind of think of him as sort of the start of the gangster rap scene. I think Snoop Dogg has talked about him, saying the same sort of thing, that he's kind of the OG, and like I said, Ice-T's talked about him. So I think that, a lot of people, a lot of other songs that we've done kind of have a similar flow and a bit of the same sort of tone a little bit to this song. And I guess that they were inspired by maybe Schooly D, since he's the OG. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool. And I guess people are paying homage to him as well, if they want to, go all the way back, kind of like we're doing here. So it's a pretty fun song. It's 5 minutes 23 seconds. And like I said, it's sort of like a storytelling song. And anyways, let's give it a listen and let me know what you think. It starts off with, it was Saturday night and I was feeling kind of sporty. Went to the bar, caught me a 40. Got kind of high and kind of drunk, so I kicked the ass of this little punk. Forgot my key and had to ring my bell. My mama came down. She said, "Who the hell?" "Wait, mama, wait. It's me, your little son." Before I knew it, my mom pulled a gun. "I know who you are, but who the hell is that?" So this is sort of the intro, and you're right into the story. So I think that's kind of cool. So it's Saturday night, obviously. He's telling us that. It's the first thing. And he's pumped up, he's ready to go. And so he goes to this bar, and he kills it at the bar. And he has a 40, which in my experience of doing lyrical breakdowns and of doing the classic quest and everything, a 40 is usually a bottle of malt liquor. So I'm assuming that that's what he maybe ordered. So he got drunk, and he got high, and then he kind of felt all riled up, and then he beat someone up, I guess. And then he's ready to head home, but he can't find his key, to his house. And so he ends up buzzing or ringing the doorbell, which is if you've ever been caught in that situation where you're oh crap, this it sucks, you never want to wake someone up, especially if you're you know maybe not the soberest, or like someone's gonna give you hell if it's your mom. Like I can only imagine, so it's, well, I mean, I've been there, I can kind of imagine. Maybe not the same circumstance, but we were all teenagers once, right? um so yeah, so his mother comes down to see like who's ringing her doorbell. And she's a tough woman, so she's kind of like, she's gonna defend herself. And based off of, I don't know, like if it was like maybe like a safe area or not, where where like this house is. So, because I think he's just from Philadelphia. So I'm like, I don't know, like what like the like the hood scene is like over there, or like, if there's like, projects, and I haven't looked into like their specific area. So if you guys know, or if any of you guys are from Philadelphia and want to let me know, leave those details in the comments, please. Pretty please. Yeah, so she shows up, and she's, like ready to like open the door, find out who it is, and she's like defending herself, and he's like, no, wait, it's just me, and he tells her who it is, and she's like, duh, of course, like I know who you are, but like who's that? And then we'll carry on. So I turn around, man. This bitch was fat. I really don't know how she got into the car. I must have picked her up when I left the bar. I'm horny, homie. Man, I wanted to chill, but you know how mothers are. She wanted to ill. So I said, "Hey baby, is you on the pill? 'Cause tonight I want to be your lover. Just one thing, I forgot to buy a rubber." So he turns around and he's like, who's she talking about? And his mom points to him. And he turns around and he sees this like fat girl that's there. And I just think it's so funny. Like it's such like an 80s kind of thing. Like I don't really think that there's a lot of songs like nowadays necessarily that would refer to like someone as a fat girl. But I mean, I guess that's what she is. Um, so he doesn't even know how she got in his car. Like he doesn't even remember, which is basically saying that he's pretty fucked up, right? He did mention earlier that he's drunk and high. Um, yeah, and he probably shouldn't be driving. I'll just say that. Don't drink and drive, unless maybe he's definitely driving. So yeah, I hope he's learned better. Um, so he's saying like he must have picked her up, which kind of makes me think like, maybe he was just like catcalling like girls on the street, and some girl got in his car for some reason. Which don't do, guys, or girls. Don't get into these random guys' cars. But it also made me think that maybe she was a prostitute, that like he picked up. I don't know. That's just what came to my mind. Um, but like he wanted to, he's just kind of saying like, well, we could chill. He's kind of like, well, since you're here, basically. He's horny. He makes that, obvious. He tells her. And then his mom's kind of like, not so happy about that. This is her house. And I'm guessing she's kind of like saying no, and she's putting like the kibosh on that. Like it's just not happening. And then, but I guess, he's still interested, obviously. And at this point, I guess, I think I read somewhere that he's about 56 or something now. So he was, yeah, mine is like somewhere in his 20s. So I guess, yeah, he would be in his 20s when he's, obviously writing this. It's, he's a young guy. So, he's horny and just, excited, wants to do whatever. And I'm guessing he still lives with his mom, right? So he asks her if she's on the birth control pill, because, he doesn't want to get her pregnant, because he doesn't have a condom. But that's not the only reason why you should wear a condom, guys. Yeah, so I just think that he's pretty straight to the point. He's pretty straightforward. Um, let's keep going. So wait a little while. Then we snuck upstairs, step by step, with a hint of fear. But we got into my room. Bitch started to scream. Mama busted in, and Mama busted in. What a fucked up scene. Shirt ripped off, drawers down to my knees. Wait, mama, wait, please. Put back your gun, put down your broom. My mom fucked up the room. The bitch jumped up with no respect. I had to put the big bitch in check. I said, you come a little closer and you will get shot. I'm sober anyways. I don't need no cock. So, um, so she's basically, yeah, so it's late and they, he's basically snuck her in, or like they snuck in, like, kind of like disobeying a little bit. Like, like I said, she didn't, the mother didn't want like her in the house, or didn't want their, whatever they were going to get up to in the house. Um, I'm sure she knows her son. um, so anyways, he still snuck in, and they went up to the room, and I'm guessing that they were having sex because she was, yelling and making noise. And I'm guessing that's, the reason why the mom came in and like basically like like misery style kicked down the door. And sorry, it just makes me think of like a funny story that happened actually with my mom. But yeah, so she kicked down the door, and she's really really pissed off at this point. And he's basically caught like half naked. His underwear are around his knees. He, doesn't have a shirt on. They were obviously like getting it on a little bit. So he tries to like plead with his mom, for for her to put the gun and the broom down, because like she's coming in swinging, and she's like, he says that she fucked up the room, and I'm guessing she was probably like swinging around the gun or swinging around like the broom, or both, probably just knocking everything over, making a mess. But she's making a point. So the girl jumped up and, I guess probably like blue balled him, or like that's what he says, with no respect. I guess like he didn't let her, she didn't let him finish, or I don't know what happened exactly, but that's just what I would assume from that. And then I think like he's pretending that she must have like attacked him or something, like just the way it came in, when he's like, oh, like you come a little bit closer and you'll get shot. Yeah, so I'm guessing that he's pulled out his gun as well. If he has one, I'm guessing that's what happened. Um, and she's like, whatever, like, I think that she's kind of like over it, and she had to like wait, and that probably in that time she kind of sobered up a bit and was like, it's not even worth it. Like, I'm leaving. Like she's not even horny anymore. She's like, I'm just going to go home. So yeah, I mean that's kind of what happened. And the I'm sober anyway, I don't need no cock, which is something that also came up recently in a Classic Quest review that we did. Is that I don't need no cock is kind of like an old school, or like cock is slang for pussy back in the day. So it was like role reversal back then, and not, it doesn't imply that he's gay. It just means that cock means pussy, which is interesting. How words evolve. I think that's cool. Anyways, so it keeps going. So let's keep going. It was Saturday night, and I was feeling kind of funny. Gold around my neck, pockets full of money. Went to the corner, man, and who did I see but the super bad bitch looking back at me. I said, fly lady, man, you got a big butt. This bitch turned around. All she said was, what? So this is another Saturday night story. He's feeling kind of goofy and cocky, like maybe he looked good. He had money in his pocket. He's feeling good. He's confident. So he goes to the corner, which, again, in other songs, where like a lot of like, certain communities, they like people will hang out on the corners. And that's just where they will congregate. And I think that's kind of fun, getting everybody together. But like the corner always makes me think of like, that's where prostitutes hang out. So it kind of makes me think that as well. So he sees this kind of sexy lady who's looking at him. And again, that's kind of why I think it maybe is like a prostitute kind of thing. So he sees this lady and he's talking to her, and then he's like, you've got a big butt, and he likes it, So then we'll keep going with the rest of this story. So I said, my name is Schoolie. I said, my name is Schoolie, baby. Oh, what is yours? Before I knew it, up come my boys, noisy as hell and drunk as shit. saying, "Yo, school, what time is it?" I looked a little closer and I knew it was a gag. What I thought was a girl was nothing but a fag. So he introduces himself and asks like her for her name. I mean, he's obviously interested. He's trying to like hit on her a bit. And then at that moment, his like crazy and loud like friends and they're drunk. They show up, and like I think maybe they're laughing or like they don't really know what's going on. And so like at that point, he kind of sees or knows that it was a gag. And maybe it was like a joke that was either played on him or maybe it was just like happened to be like that moment and like his friends caught him with this woman. But at that moment he realizes that the girl that he was chatting up turns out to be a guy. Maybe like a drag queen or a hermaphrodite or transsexual, whatever. So yeah, so it turns out it wasn't. And then obviously like the word fag like isn't used that much, or shouldn't be. It's like again the times have changed, but I think I think it's still worth mentioning. So okay, so anyway, it's just like a funny thing because I have a lot of drag queens friends and people involved in that kind of stuff in my life, and I have seen that happen time and time again to them, where like these straight guys will be like hitting on these like women, or because they're just like these tall glamorous looking women, I guess, but yeah, they're not women. um so yeah, it's funny when that happens. All right, so let's keep going. So everybody rapping, but they don't know how. Should have seen the boy rapping to the cow. He rapped so hard that the blank saw smoke. He lit up a chiba, and they both took a toke. The cow got high, and the boy got by. Don't come in my face and ask me why. So everyone is just trying to do what he does, and everyone's just trying to rap and get in that game, but they don't even know how. Like he's just like, you don't even know how. And like since he's like the first like gangster rapper, like I'm guessing that he was a little bit harsh on other fellow rappers that were trying, but maybe not doing as good as he thinks that they should be doing because they're not doing like he was or is. I don't know. I don't know if he's still rapping. Yeah. So then the guy is talking about rapping to a cow, and I didn't know like if that meant something like else, or if the guy's just like a farmer, or they're just hanging out around a farm. I don't know, but yeah, it's cool. I've been drunk around cows before too, so we've all been there. And or not drunk. Well, I've been drunk, but um, and this guy, he's smoking a joint, and the cow has some as well. The cow's getting high with him. And then like Schoolie D is just kind of like, I can't explain like why this happened or like, what was going on in this night. Like, it just was what it was. And then Chiba Chiba y'all. Yeah, it's that Chiba Chiba making him feel like that. Chiba Chiba y'all. So basically, like all these like crazy Saturday nights and all these crazy stories that happen are because of the weed. That's pretty much it. Some call it Chiba, some call it weed. It's the killer, it's the thriller, it's the thing that you need. Call it whatever you want. It's basically what everybody needs, and it's the best. Um, so let's carry on. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet, smoking a J and scratching the itch. Along came a spider and sat down beside her and said, "Yo, what's up with that, bitch?" But then down the road came Mary and her lambs, smoking a lacy in each and every hand. The poor little spider, he couldn't score. He couldn't score any. There were $2 bitches, and he only had a penny. So it sounds like a nursery rhyme, right? It sounds like it could be for kids. We all know it. We all know Little Miss Muffet. But in this case, she's sitting there and she's getting high. And the spider comes down and joins her. He's kind of like, "Whoa, what do you got there?" Like, he kind of wants in, like he kind of wants some of her joint. And then like Mary and her lambs show up, and they are also getting high and smoking weed. And they're not like giving them, the spider any, and like this poor little spider, like he just can't get any, and nobody will share with him, and he's just broke. That's all. Um, so I guess there he's trying to say in this little lesson that he's giving you is that I guess make more money, or that weed costs a lot of money. Um, so chiba chiba y'all, yeah, chiba chiba y'all. So it's the weed again. So let me tell you a little tale about Peter the Pimp, sucker MC trying to cop a limp. Rode around town in a couple of cars, got gagged by the man just trying to stick up a bar. The judge said, "Boy, what was on your mind?" He said, "I had some chiba chiba, cocaine, and some wine." The judge said, "Boy, relax and have a beer. You won't be doing shit for the next 10 years." So now he's telling us a fairy tale about Peter and the Pimp, and I'm guessing like Peter Pan, maybe, and like how he never wanted to grow up. And I posted on Twitter about if anybody knew like the actual meaning of cop a limp, but I didn't get anything, not yet, anyways. And I couldn't look. I looked it up and I couldn't find anything. So if any of you guys know what cop a limp means, let me know down below if you know. So they were driving around, obviously like up to trouble a little bit, and they like hold up a bar, they stick up a bar, whatever, and they get caught, having stolen money and probably alcohol, whatever else. And then so they're kind of like flash forward, and then we're kind of like in the court case or in the court, and the judge is kind of like asking like what they were thinking, like why did you do this, like what was on your mind, like what made you do this. And he's like, "Well, my bad. Like I was on weed, I was on cocaine, and I'd had some wine." And the judge is just kind of like, "Oh, well, that's cool. Well, why don't you relax and maybe have another one, open up a cold one, enjoy, because you're not really going anywhere except to jail for the next 10 years." So it's kind of like, oh no, like, it's I don't know. Yeah, it's just a funny story, I mean, I guess, you're gonna get in trouble if you act like that. Um, and then Chiba Chiba, y'all. Yeah, it's that Chiba Chiba, Chiba Chiba. Again, it's the weed. Um, and then to close out, again, some call it Chiba, some call it weed. It's the killer, it's the thriller, it's the thing that you need. Chiba Chiba, y'all. It's the weed, right? So that's pretty much it. And I know that this song doesn't necessarily need that much of like a breakdown, but it was requested, and I do enjoy like doing like a back and forth. And like this song, like I like the feeling of this song. I thought it was cool, and I really like exposing myself, and maybe you guys as well. Like if you guys haven't listened to this before, I like doing the mainstream songs because yeah, it gets hits, but I also like doing like the maybe not the mainstream ones because I think people also enjoy learning new things. So yeah, so thanks for again for requesting this. Yeah, so I do also like the where music started, and listening to like this was like I said a million times already. He's like the very first gangster rapper, and I think it's pretty cool to listen to him and to like other people who started like like this movement and like this kind of music, where it came from, and their stories and how they first started expressing themselves, and how they spoke out. And I think that that's really cool because it's definitely makes sense, and it started the music that we love today. So I think that's cool. Um, so yeah, anyways, but besides that, I really did like this song. It has a great beat and a great flow to it. It's kind of like, it's very like random a little bit too, because it's funny. Um, like the more you get into the song, because like the first like verse is very long. And then like the more you kind of like get into the song, the more it becomes a weed song. And then it ends being like chiba chiba, it's just like, it's all weed. At the end, it's just like, a few, and it kind of just breaks off. It's just like all these like weed things. And then like these sort of like little like vignettes of like little stories of like what he's maybe seen on, maybe different Saturday nights or different things that he's been involved in, but like, or like maybe like stories that he's been told on Saturday nights, like I don't know, or like what's going on around him or what's he seeing and whatever. So it's kind of a little bit like all over the place, this song. With like the fairy tales and like the nursery nursery rhymes, and then like stories of him like trying to like hook up and failing, and like it's kind of just like a whole mishmash, but it kind of like works, and it's also kind of like a weed song at the same time. So there's a lot going on in this song, but it makes me kind of think of like Afro Man's Because I Got High, because it kind of starts off like he's doing all these things, and then like his life kind of goes to hell because of all this weed, and I guess he kind of ends up in trouble, and he's just kind of on, that's it, that's all he does. So that's it. I mean, I just thought like the whole thing was interesting. I hope that you guys learned something today. I sure did. I would like to say a little word about our Patreon, and to our patrons over there, Mozart, Lindell Williams, and Super Old School in 1994. So thank you guys so much. If you are interested in helping us grow and want to support our little project that we do here, definitely check out the Patreon down below. You can find the link. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Your Lady Friend Bonnie. I am waiting for you guys eagerly over there. The usual. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Comment any sort of songs that you guys want me to break down in the future, or songs you think I should, just look into, or whatever that you want. That's what we're here for. So thanks for watching, guys. I had a great one. I hope you did too. Bye for now.